Hey guys, what's up? So chip manufacturer AMD has been fighting with financial problems for many years. Already in the past, a few years ago, I remember that there was a lot of speculation that went back and forth whether the company will actually be sold altogether. And then in 2008, they actually sold all their factories and said that they're going to put their focus back on the PC market. But that didn't go too well since their graphic cards didn't take off as expected, I guess. And now just a few days ago, the analyst from Kerrisdale Capital Investment, which is basically like a research investment consultant company, and they have expressed that they think AMD is not far from being actually bankrupt. They still have financially successful sectors, but these analysts estimated that at least by 2020, the bankruptcy cannot be avoided. To use their words, they basically said that too many structural changes took place, but the statistics just didn't improve. I personally think that big problem with AMD is, and I have to say I've always bought Nvidia graphics cards because I think when it comes to PC hardware, especially to PC graphics hardware, it's not like in other sectors where a cheap price sells the product. And obviously if you compare an Nvidia graphics card with an AMD graphics card, the AMD one is always slightly cheaper. So I think when it comes to PC hardware, quality sells and not the cheap price. And I think that's a little bit the trap that AMD went into. They thought if we're just a bit cheaper than the biggest competitor, we will be really successful. I mean, in recent years, they did a lot to improve their products. They've added kind of an equivalent thing to the Nvidia GeForce Experience Center where you can just download all the drivers. And the thing kind of manages itself, which I personally find really, really useful. If I just look back 5 years, you had to manually download drivers and it was a massive pain. You had to manually check on the website. Now it actually tells you, look, a new driver is available. So they kind of caught up with that. I think a big problem with AMD is that they never put enough time, money, and effort in actual research and development. And another expression of that was actually surfaced also just a few days ago when drivers for their new flagship graphics card, the Radeon R9 390X, were leaked because fans were hoping that this would be a graphics card series with a completely new chip generation. It hopefully would contain the Fiji chip, that's the name of it, but the leaked drivers have now revealed that the card only holds the so-called Hawaii chip, which is basically the chip that already the previous generation was using. So that means that fans actually have to wait a little bit longer until they get a proper new generation with the Fiji chipset on it from AMD. And that's a real shame because right now, especially in these kind of tricky times, the thing that this company would need is just like a proper powerful new generation of cards that are really well produced and work very well. So bringing out a new generation that uses the old chip again doesn't seem like the smartest move. From my personal experience, I have a friend who's at the moment trying to play GTA 5 with me on an AMD mobile chip, and he has massive problems. He can't use DirectX 11, and AMD as well as Rockstar, they don't do anything. There is basically no update, there's no patch, and it's a real shame. It really makes his life really, really difficult. And I mean, it's these small experiences with a company that really question whether next time you should go with an AMD card as well. One important thing to mention is obviously that if AMD should really go bankrupt, and obviously they can always be bought and another company puts money into them and rebuild them from scratch, is possible. But if they would disappear, they would leave a monopoly to Intel and Nvidia, and that's never good. Like any type of monopoly is bad. I think I'm a big fan of both these companies. I think Intel do great work with chipsets and Nvidia do probably the best graphics cards you can get. But once they're the only ones who produce this product, you never know where they might go with it, whether they increase prices or whether they find another way of exploiting their monopoly. We don't know yet, but that's definitely an important point to mention in this whole story. So guys, these are my thoughts. I would be interested in hearing your thoughts. What is the chip manufacturer when it comes to graphics cards that you trust? Have you always been a big AMD fan, or do you actually always choose to go with Intel and Nvidia? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave me a like. As always, you can subscribe to my channel. Please share the video, that would be much appreciated. Guys, otherwise take care, stay tuned, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Bye.